You own one of these smaller RVs that has a side-mounted AC unit that has water leaking inside? Well, there's two main reasons this may be happening, and today we're going to break it down for you and share with you simple solutions that's going to prevent it from happening in the future. Stick around, this one might save you a headache. Welcome back to the Camping Loop. This summer's been hotter than a weed eater in a pawn shop. Another 90 degree today, 91 plus degrees, and it is just thick. Anyway, with all that camping in the heat, AC inside the RV almost becomes essential. We've been getting a lot of questions from subscribers about problems they're having with the side-mounted AC units starting to leak water, not only inside, but down in between the walls and causing all sorts of chaos. Well, first things first, let's talk about the two culprits here and most likely the reasons why this is happening. Now, the first and most common reason I see this happening is something probably is either loose or broken or a seal missing, or maybe your drain tube or your drain holes along the bottom here are plugged up. Well, let me get you in here closer. I'll show you what I'm talking about. First, check your cover out here to make sure that everything's in good shape. You want to make sure that there's no debris in here that are actually the drain holes on this cover or down inside your unit. Make sure that nothing's loose, broken, cracked, things like that. And the other thing you want to make sure, and I see this all the time, is that this is sitting flush along part of the camper and sealed up. One of the things we got to consider here is if you have water pooling up in between here and this is popped away from the camper like so, the first place you're going to get water entering is down in these screw holes and traveling down the wall inside the camper, which is a big no-no. Now, if you do see that this is broken or loose or cracked or this is bumped out here in between the screws, probably time for a new replacement cover. And the best bet you're going to be able to find is talking to your dealer. Make sure you give them the right model, make, year, things like that. And they're going to be able to order you the exact cover that you're going to need. But really simple to change. Square bits all the way around. And then when you're done, make sure you take a good sealant or silicone or something like that and seal up all the way around the edges. Not hard to do. Two other places that are important to check is going to be the seal around the unit. So all the way around, you got to make sure that this seal is not missing any pieces, everything's intact, it's located in the right spot. The second thing that you want to check with that, and I see this one a lot, is the cord. You do not want it coming out from the bottom here. You want to make sure that it's tucked up at least halfway. Obviously, water is never going to collect this high in the unit. And then you can see we have it run back and plugged in up there. So one of the biggest problems that we see with people with these leaky units is they have this cord jammed in coming out down here in the corner, and that's just going to open it up for all sorts of possibilities and water to leak out. Also, another thing you can do that's really important is make sure the filter is always staying clean. If the filter inside here is at all clogged, what it's going to do is block airflow, causing the evaporator coils inside to get a little colder than they should be, and it could cause the whole unit to freeze up. As a general rule, we clean this maybe every 2 or 3 trips that we go out, every month or two, something like that. Keep in mind that you guys are outside, you're collecting dirt, you're on campgrounds. Last week we had neighbors next to us. I don't know if it's the first time they ever started a fire, but we woke up to just smoke billowing in the campground coming in through the air conditioner. So really easy to change. Most of these units just snap off. Obviously, the first thing you should do is turn it off, unlike I just did there, but, you know, safety first. And you can see already, like I was saying, 2 weeks ago, this is clean. Look how dirty this is now. I just like to take a Clorox wipe or whatever. You could rinse these off. They are washable, obviously, but, you know, then you got to wait for it to dry and make sure it does dry all the way before you start running the unit. But you can see how easy. I mean, this dust just wipes right off of here. So, again, you know, every 2, 3 camping trips, something like that, want to make sure that these filters are staying clean. This is what's going to keep the airflow nice and fresh, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word. And go ahead and hit this too. I mean, it's got dust built up on it. Might as well clean it up a notch while we're here, you know. Any job, big or small, do it right or not at all. Again, pretty simple to figure out. Just you know, read your owner's manual if you need to, but usually these filters are reusable. Just pop right out like that. Make sure you do have the sides clipped in as well. And then you got a few tabs along the bottom. Well, I guess that'd be the bottom. Line up the two in the middle first. Get those lined up in there right. And then the whole unit just snaps back on. Simple. Now, before we get into the next reason on why you guys probably got water dripping on the inside of your unit, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and notification bell down below, and comment any issues you guys may have had with your AC units. A lot of people watching this might find your tips helpful and to learn what you guys did to resolve the problem. Now, the second reason you guys might be getting drips on the inside is simply due to the heat and humidity that's going on out here. High outdoor humidity can certainly contribute to water leaks due to its effect on the cooling process on the AC unit inside. Air conditioners not only cool the air, but they also dehumidify it by pulling moisture out. So obviously, higher the moisture, higher the humidity. Did you see that bee just try to eat me? More humidity in the air equals more moisture collecting on all the metal surfaces, especially cool ones like underneath the unit itself, or perhaps the drip pan is just overwhelmed and the drip tube cannot keep up with the demand. Good news is there's a couple things you guys can do to combat this being an issue in the first place. Number one, obviously make sure all your windows and your doors are shut tight while you're running the AC unit, and also your roof vents. Obviously, we wouldn't really have those open while it's running anyway, but object is obviously keep all the humid air outside and not inside the rig. Another thing you guys can do is try not to run your temperature really any lower than 70 degrees. Number one, 70 degrees is plenty cool enough inside. It's going to take all the humidity out. When it's 90 or 95 outside, you're going to notice a huge difference. And number two, you're not going to work your unit as hard. The other thing we do, most of these modern units or newer ones have obviously the energy saver option on it. We like to go ahead and run that as well. A lot of time the dogs are in here if we're out wandering or doing something in the campground, and that just keeps it so the compressor's not constantly running. It will turn itself on and off and kind of adjust to the temperature and humidity that way. And of course, think of it this way, limited use. I mean, maybe if it is 100 degrees outside and you guys are, you know, sweating your faces off, sure, but otherwise, maybe at night to cool down or when you're in here cooking or hanging out in the camper or whatever the case may be. So we try not to run it all the time. Again, if you have animals or dogs or somebody's going to be behind, I understand leaving it on all the time. Other than that, it's really to cool down at night, keep it so it's comfortable to sleep in. And it's not a bad idea to do an inspection if you are running it. Make sure you're checking on below here or checking under here for condensation. If you do see anything leaking, grab a towel, wipe it up right away. You know, if you are going to leave it running, check this periodically, keep it wiped up throughout the day. Really, there's not much you can do as far as limiting the humidity inside here. Unfortunately, these kind of side-mounted air conditioners, they're great. I mean, they're great because you can replace it if there's ever an issue. You run to Walmart, you spend $150, you got a new unit put inside. So, you know, you got to weigh your options. Would you rather do that or spend $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 on a rooftop unit? Now, trust me, I get it. Having a leaky AC unit inside is about as much fun as probably a trip to the dentist. But hopefully this video helps you guys tackle your issues and figure out what's going on so you can get back to your camping trips and your RVing without worrying about a water park inside. As always, we appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget that like and subscribe button down below. Put a little comment in there about any issues you've had and how you solved them. And we will catch you in the next one.